Michael Irvin from ESPN's First Take on the Browns beating the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm going to tell you this, and I can tell all the people in Cleveland right now, you will never beat the Kansas City Chiefs without Odell Beckham Jr. You will never beat him. And that told me it showed up yesterday. You're going to have the ability to make some explosive plays. Okay, and that's what happened. They running the ball, they're scoring. They kept them to 10 points in the first half. 10 points. But they scored 23 in the second half because sooner or later the dam broke. You kept Patrick Mahomes down, but then sooner or later you found Tyreek Hill on a big play. It's just too dynamic of an offense. You will never beat Kansas City without the dynamic play of an Odell Beckham Jr. or somebody like Odell Beckham Jr.
Michael Irvin and Mary Kay, I respectfully disagree with Michael. I get what he's saying. The reason they scored 23 points, there was the blown coverage. You know, that's going to happen with new guys. 3 turnovers, and one of them was, the punter dropped a snap on the 15. That's pretty hard to overcome against any offense, let alone one that has Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Tyreek Hill.
Absolutely, 100%. And I also disagree with Michael Irvin that you have to have Odell to win this football game. Because if they do meet again, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be able to count on the Browns making those 3 huge mistakes they made in the second half. The Nick Chubb fumble, the dropped punt, and the Baker Mayfield interception. They will have to play a more perfect game to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. But I don't think you have to have an Odell Beckham Jr. They probably will have an Odell Beckham Jr. next time around if they meet in the playoffs. But here are some things to remember. The next time they meet, Anthony Schwartz will be a lot more of a seasoned player than he was in his very first game. He's barely practiced. So for him to go out there and get as many snaps that he did and get the targets that he did, he's just going to be a better player down the road. And they will be able to utilize his speed even more than they did in this game. They didn't even use Donovan Peoples-Jones. He had 1 target for 4 yards. He's capable of explosive plays in his own right. So there were so many other things that you could have done to get things rolling in that second half that just didn't happen for one reason or another. I think they'll have Odell, but I don't think it's a deal breaker if you don't. I think it'll be a different game next time around for a number of reasons, some of which I just mentioned, but also, the Browns are going to have to probably contend with Tyrann Mathieu and Frank Clark in the next game too. So there will be a different dynamic going on all the way around, but I think that you can beat the Chiefs if you play a really clean football game.
Yeah, you can't give, Patrick Mahomes additional possessions, which is what turnovers do. That's why Kevin Stefanski and coaches hate it. You're giving the offense extra possessions when you turn the ball over.